Hey guys, what's going on? So with the release of Omega Red, it is time to update my legendary farming guide to help you get all the legendary characters that you can possibly need. There's really not that many in game, but we're basically going to go over all the characters you need, all the tags that are needed, and where you can find these characters at. So let's get right into it. All right, so starting us off, we have Omega Red, and we're going to go from the latest releases to the earliest releases. So we're going to go Omega Red, then Adam Warlock. Omega Red and Adam Warlock are mythic legendary, so that requires gear 14 and ISO Green 5. And basically you'll be able to get into it at that point. But we have two campaign characters. We have one Raid Store character, one War Store, and then one other character, and that is Nick Fury. So what is required for Omega Red is Secret Avengers, and then Winter Soldier and Nick Fury. So I don't know if we get more Secret Avengers, if it means you can use 5 Secret Avengers, or if Nick Fury and Winter Soldier are mandatory and the other 3 are optional. It's not really stated. I mean, maybe I misinterpreted how it's stated, but basically you can find Captain Sam and Winter Soldier in the campaigns, Sharon Carter's in the Raid Store, Maria Hill is in the War Store, and then Nick Fury is a legendary event. You will need 5 Kree minions, and we will go over that when we get to him. But yeah, the latest release, this is who you will need. In time, we may get more Secret Avengers, but again, I think Winter Soldier and Nick Fury are going to be kind of the present ones that you need for that. It's kind of weird that they do it that way now, but it is what it is. So I would assume there's not going to be any more Secret Avengers, and that we're kind of stuck with only 5 as the option. So, but that does it for Omega Red. We're moving on to Adam Warlock. So next up, our next mythic legendary, and the first mythic legendary to ever come out, again, gear 14, tier ISO 5, is going to be XFactor and then Jubilee. So if we do get a 5th XFactor, I do believe you will still need Jubilee to unlock Adam Warlock, and then you can choose the 4 that you would like. I will say it's a little bit better to level these characters up than it is for like Winter Soldier and Nick Fury even. Secret Avengers I think are worth it, but I definitely think these 5 at least have a place somewhere in the game that they can be consistent, and getting them at least right now in the game. You know, obviously if you're watching this video and 3 more legendaries come out, I don't think XFactor will have the staying power it does now, but let's go over it. So you have Polaris and Multiman, they're both in campaigns. You have Shatterstar, who's in Arena, Longshots in the War Store, and then Jubilee is a legendary event. We're going to go over her in I think she's up next actually, so we're going to go over her up next. But yeah, basically, again, and I would definitely recommend people, like, your focus really should be to get through the campaign so you can start farming these characters, and that's what's really needed. I really do like Adam Warlock. I think Adam Warlock kind of is disappointing for being a legendary, but I think he's still a really good character, and he's still power crept like crazy. If you look at like what Omega Red is doing right now and with his release, and I know some of you probably don't have access to Omega Red, or the majority of people watching this probably don't have access to Omega Red. It's not that Adam Warlock isn't as good, it's just he kind of didn't have the legendary status, I guess, and so he can feel kind of like a letdown, but he definitely does make Infinity Watch super fun to use, and I would still recommend going for him. I think if you're kind of trying to plan for legendaries for like Dark Dimensions, I would say always go like the last 5 that came out, and then Phoenix is a good add-on as well, just because of her special, but I don't know how much survivability she'll have as Dark Dimensions go forward. But yeah, that does it for Adam Warlock. Again, mythic legendary, so gear 14, green ISO 5. And XFactor is worth it, Jubilee's worth it leveling up. So if you get them leveled up early and don't have to worry about it, just you have to wait for their star levels, I think that's a good spot that you can be at for these 5 characters. Next up, we have Jubilee, and that's just Pimtech, no weird requirements or anything. So you have 3 campaign characters, 1 Blitz Store character, and 1 War Store character. What I would recommend, if you're wanting to encompass as many characters as you can with your farming, I really like Blitz Orbs and I really like Raid Orbs. The Arena Orb I don't like as much. Obviously, we're going to go through a couple legendaries where they have certain arena characters, and if you can get a cheaper arena character to help you unlock a legendary, I think that's probably the best way to go. But I would definitely say I think Blitz Orbs and Raid Orbs can be worth it, but it depends. If you know exactly what you're going for, if you know you're trying to go for Jubilee, because you feel like you can have access to it, then definitely focus on Ant-Man. But if you're not sure which way you want to go, then I definitely think the orbs are the best way to go, except for Arena. I think Arena, you should probably be a little bit more focused and have a general idea of what direction you're wanting to go with that. So we have Yellow Jacket, Stature, and Wasp in the campaign store. Ant-Man is in the Blitz store, and then Ghost is in the War store. There will be some characters that are in the War store that are excluded from this list, just because I don't think you should be farming them from the War store. War currency is very, very You don't get a lot of it, I guess, so you want to be really precise with it. And you do get a lot of it, but you don't want to be wasting it on Ravager Bruiser, for example. So I definitely am going to leave some of the back-end characters off that I don't think you'll be needing out of the War Store. So if you see them on here, then it's definitely like a recommendation to go for them. There is one exception, but I'll explain why he's on this list anyway. So yeah, Jubilee requires Pimtech. As you can see, this is where they are. And yeah, next up we have Doc Ock. He requires X-Force. Don't get him mixed up with XFactor. Some people do. But basically, there's only 5 characters you can go for this route. They may add more X-Force characters. And if they do, that's great. You know, obviously, the more accessibility and the more options you have for legendaries, the better off I think you are. But basically, you have Negasonic, Cable, Deadpool, Domino, and X-23 that you can use. Negasonic and Cable are both in campaign nodes. Deadpool is in the Arena Store. Domino is in the Blitz store. X-23 is in the War Store, and then Cable's also in the War Store. I would say definitely don't worry about Cable. If you the quickest farms to the like slowest farms, I think, or this is how pretty much I value it. I think blitz farming is your quickest farm, then raid farming, then honestly I would think you would want to do campaign farming, then arena farming, and then war farming, just because that war currency is so finite. So I think you should be more focused on X-23, and if you can farm a character from the campaign nodes as opposed to the War Store, that's the route you should go for it. Arena and campaign can kind of be tied. Campaign will take you longer, so obviously if you are 5 shards away from unlocking Doc Ock and you see Cable in the War Store and you have the currency, you should go for it. But in general, I would say just focus on him only in the campaign nodes, just because it does take more time. But I think that war currency is just, like I said, it's so finite, and you want to be spending it on the right places, on the right people. And plus, there's a ton of new characters that are out, like Bishop's in the War Store, for example. He's not he is used for a legendary, but I definitely think you want to be using those war currency on new up-to-date characters, not as opposed to your character farming for legendaries, if that makes sense. But yeah, like I said, Doc Ock requires X-Force. Here's all the locations of the characters and where you can find them. We are moving on to Ebony Maw. So with Ebony Maw, basically it's another one. It's the last one of the weird ones that you kind of need, where essentially it is going to be 4 Inhumans and Black Bolt. Black Bolt is an Inhuman, but he is required for this event, so it requires this legendary character. And basically, as you can see, you can farm Quake in 2 spots. But I want to say Quake and Yo-Yo can also help you unlock Iron Man. I really don't think you should be worried about unlocking Iron Man. I think that will actually come naturally, especially with how many characters you will have access to that do have that shield tag. Iron Man should definitely not be on your list of farming, and you should kind of accidentally stumble into Iron Man, I think. But let's go over campaigns. So we have Miss Marvel, Karnak, and Quake. Then in the Arena Store, we have Crystal and Quake. In the Raid Store, we have Yo-Yo. And then, of course, Black Bolt is his legendary event. If you want to go for the straight-up Inhuman team, it's going to be Karnak, Quake, Crystal, Yo-Yo, and then Black Bolt, excuse me. Miss Marvel is more of a hero brawler type team. She can work with them, but if you're trying to just build up Inhumans and want to know what the best Inhuman team is, then I would recommend the ones that I said. Just leave Miss Marvel out. But Miss Marvel is still valuable on that team, but I think she has more use elsewhere. But we're kind of in a weird spot anyway. So, but yeah, that's kind of the Inhuman team that if you're trying to build. But if you're, obviously, I think your quickest route is probably going to be Yo-Yo, Black Bolt, and then probably Quake and Karnak, I think. But again, it's up to you what you want to go. But yeah, that's their locations. So, like I said, Black Bolt is needed, and the ways to unlock Black Bolt is with Asgardians. And you have 2 options for Thor with where he's at. But let's go over them. So Hela and Loki, I want to say, are Mystic Villain controllers, and that will help you unlock Phoenix. And we'll go over that more when we get to Phoenix. And then Thor's also in campaign. Heimdall's in the Arena Store. Thor's in the Raid Store / Raid Orb, and then Sif is in the War Store. Obviously, you will need to go for Sif in the War Store. You don't really have an extra option. We may get more Asgardians. I think that's probably more likely than like some of the other tags that we've gotten. Of course, we could get more Inhumans. I think we're probably more likely to get Asgardians and Humans than we are like X-Force. We may get another XFactor at least. But yeah, I mean, not that I think you should hold out against Black Bolt or anything. And Asgardians don't really have a good use in this game, but Thor, I think, can do good work for you with a Wave 1 team. So he might be the one that you want to invest in, and then also Hela and Loki if you'd like. But I think Sif and Heimdall are kind of the weaker of this if you're trying to debate on which ones you want to invest in. But yeah, that's where you can find your Asgardians to help you farm Black Bolt. Next up, we have Invisible Woman. Invisible Woman requires Sinister Six. There's rumors that we're going to get more Sinister Six, so obviously the more we get, the better we may be. But with Scopely, it may be like a Sinister Six team, but they don't have the Sinister Six tag, which kind of sucks. I want to say that Sinister Six can also help you unlock Shuri, which could go well for you as well. I guess, is what I wanted to say. So Shocker, Mysterio, and Green Goblin are in the campaign node. Then you have Vulture and Swarm in the arena store. Rhino and Electro are in the Blitz store. Then Mysterio is also in the raid store, and then Doc Ock is his own legendary event. If you want to unlock Invisible Woman with Doc Ock, I think that's a fine use. I don't really use Invisible Woman other than Wart Defense, so she may not be a priority for you. I'm not going to go too much more into depth about her. It's kind of up to you. Like I said, your focus right now should probably be the 5 most recent legendaries that came out. I do like Black Bolt, though, and I think he can be accessible, but I don't know. It's just kind of finicky. I really think Jubilee, Adam Warlock, Omega Red, and Doc Ock are kind of the 4 that you should focus on, but you do need 5 for legendary DD5. So if you're kind of trying to build for that, then I would say definitely the most recent 5 that come out. Maybe by the time that you get into DD5 with your legendary, there will be someone better than Ebony Maw. And that's kind of what I'm hoping for, but I should honestly be in DD5 legendary before then, but yeah, this is your options for Invisible Woman. And like I said, you can double up and use this farm to help you unlock Shuri, but there is actually a quicker way to go with Shuri, and we will get to that in some time. But next up, we have Phoenix. All right, so with Phoenix, we have Mystic Villain Controllers. I think Phoenix is the only character that you have to have these characters at 6 stars to unlock. She is a 6-star unlock, which is just bonkers that they haven't changed it. But your options, you have Loki and Hela, which are also going to help you unlock Black Bolt. Then you have Hand Assassin and Nobu, which Hand is trash. Nobu is also in the War Store, but I did not put him on here because I really don't want you to be farming Nobu from the War Store. Then Mordo's in the Arena Store. Ronin is in the Raid Store. And then you could also unlock Doc Doom if you wanted to help you unlock Phoenix. Probably not likely and definitely would not recommend that, but hey, if you're watching this 2 years down the line and Dr. Doom is a lot more accessible, and you're wondering which way to go for Phoenix, then maybe. But it's just kind of funny that he's in there and that he's an option, but he's not really an option. But probably your best bet is going to be Loki, Hela, Nobu, Mordo, and then Ronin. But I think your quickest bet, if you're trying to unlock Phoenix as quick as possible, is going to be Loki, Hand Assassin, Nobu, Mordo, and Ronin. Only because Hela is kind of on a tricky node herself. You need Villain Mystic to help you unlock the Hela node, which Hela actually helps with that node, which kind of sucks. But yeah, basically, I mean, I think you're probably better off going with the better team, but again, it's up to you if you want to go for the quick route or for the better route. So we have Shuri next, and like I said with Shuri, my head's in the way of this Mysterio down here. Just here, I'll get out the way so you can take a screenshot if you would like, and I know some people like to. But for Shuri, you need Spider-Verse, and Sinister Six is tied into that Spider-Verse, which is kind of nice. You actually have, so like I said, Blitz store characters are going to be your quickest farm. And if you want to go the Blitz store route and use Electro, Spider-Man Miles, and Rhino, and then for example, like Vulture, because he's pretty easy to farm from the Arena Store, or Mysterio because he's in the Raid Store, I think that is your quickest route. But again, there's that optimized route, and then there's the quickest route, and it's really up to you what you want to do. I think Shuri is usable in Doom 2 tech, but I think if you're worried about farming Shuri, you're probably not ready for Doom 2 tech, at least right now, so I wouldn't really prioritize her. Again, like I said, focus on those 5, the 5 most recent ones. But let's go over it. So we have Green Goblin, Shocker, Miles, Mysterio, and Venom in the campaign nodes. We have Swarm, Vulture, and Scream in the Arena Store. In the Blitz Store, I already went over it. Mysterio's in the Raid Store. Carnage is in the War Store. I do think you need Carnage, just because right now with Doom 2 and Bio, symbiotes is kind of the only route you can go. If you're watching this and there's a new bio team out, then obviously ignore that. And then you have Doc Ock. Doc Ock is in the legendary node, Symbiote Spider-Man is in the milestone orbs, and then Anti-Venom is only attainable through the premium orbs, which sucks. But yeah, that's your route to unlock Shuri. I believe next up we have Magneto. Alright, so with Magneto, you have the most characters that you can use to help you unlock him, and it's awesome. Basically, you can kind of stumble into Magneto the same way you can with Iron Man. So for example, so Magneto requires Brotherhood, and he also requires X-Men. And when that was initially started, we didn't have Astonishing X-Men or Uncanny X-Men, we just had X-Men. And that was kind of Scopely's fault, but we are where we are now. So how you could accidentally stumble into Magneto, which I think is kind of a fun route. You get X-23 from the War Store, who will help you unlock Doc Ock. Wolverine from the dailies, you unlock Phoenix through a legendary, you unlock Jubilee through the legendary, and then if you open up enough Blitz orbs or enough Raid orbs or something, you could get Toad, you could get Sabretooth, you could get Cyclops, you could get Kitty Pryde. Also, if you just want to build up the best team, you could build up Astonishing X-Men, which is going to be Bishop, Jubilee, Beast, Kitty Pryde, and Iceman. I would not recommend that just because I think Bishop you should unlock and you want to unlock, and if you get 5 red stars on your Bishop, you want to take your Bishop up to that 5 red. But I think Bishop is really, really strong, but I do think that they are Astonishing X-Men is on the bottom part of the slope, I guess, that of when they were like in their prime. But again, like I said, you can accidentally stumble into this Magneto, which is kind of fun to think about. But and it's fun that it's funny that other characters aren't like that. I mean, it's not funny because it sucks for free-to-play people, but it's just a funny thought. Again, I'm not going to go over all of these characters. You can see where they are. There's a lot of campaign characters. There's a lot of characters you can use. I honestly would not recommend even trying to unlock Pyro. I really don't like Brotherhood on offense for war. You can throw them on defense, but a lot of people take Pyro out anyways. So I don't think you need Pyro from the War Store, but he is there if you want to go down that route. But like I said, if I was going to start over, I would accidentally stumble into Magneto, I think. So, on to the next one, and that is going to be Nick Fury. So, the worst of the farm is Nick Fury, and he requires Kree minions. Not a lot of options. There's only 5 that you can use, and it sucks to farm them up. I will say they're in a ton of orbs, so hopefully you can get them that way. So, you have Kree Reaper, Kree Noble, Kree Cyborg, Kree, they're in the campaign. Then you have Kree Royal Guard, who's in the Blitz store, and then you have Kree Oracle, who's in the Raid store. You need Nick Fury for Omega Red, so it kind of sucks that you have to farm up Kree minions to help you unlock Omega Red. I really do hate that they do it, but it is something they do. And that's probably going to be something they do going forward, so you probably will want to start and make sure that you're getting Shuri unlocked, and you're getting Starlord unlocked, and you're getting all these other characters unlocked. But like I said, some of them you can kind of stumble into, and I don't think you need to focus right away, but if you are trying to be proactive and get ahead, then that is something you definitely should be doing. If you are wanting to know kind of what I think you should be prioritizing with your farming, at least when it comes to like which legendary you should be going for, I'm going to recommend, obviously it's what you value most. And there's kind of like 3 game modes that I think kind of hold the most value, and then there's a 4th one, and it's really up to you. So basically, I think you can value Arena, you can value Raids, and you can value Dark Dimensions. And whichever one you prioritize first, and I think they all can have equal space. So for example, like with Arena, I don't do my 5 attacks every day, and with that said, I've started to realize that I actually value raids more, so I'm building up raid characters and maybe prioritizing raid characters over arena characters. But I think once I start slipping out of the top 100 in arena, that's when I focus back on arena and try to get back my footing with that. So really it's up to you, but and why I say that is, for example, Omega Red, he's been out for 2 days now if you're watching this, and I've tried to use him in arena and haven't had much luck. So I've invested into him, but basically he's not my priority, and it's up to you if you want to use him in arena by the time that you can have access to him. But he is just a war character at the end of the day, and that's what he's really, really good at. But he's also really good in Dark Dimensions. So again, it depends on where you value, and that's why it's kind of hard to tell which legendaries you should go for. if this was like 3 months ago and Adam Warlock had just came out, then obviously I would say Adam Warlock if you prioritize Arena. But Omega Red is a better DD Dark Dimension character. He's not that great of a raid character. But yeah, so that it's really up to you, and that's kind of how I would say if you want to value it. If you have any questions, feel free to obviously DM me on Discord or reach out on Discord in any sort of way or in the comments below, and I will be happy to help you with that. But yeah, this is your characters for Nick Fury. It kind of sucks, but next up we have Starlord. So Starlord requires Ravagers, and he also requires Guardians of the Galaxies, and you have Guardians of the Galaxy, and you have plenty of options for it. The quickest route is going to be the 3 Blitzstore characters and the 2 Raid Store characters, but that's not necessarily the best route. Gamora has a lot of strength with it and can probably carry Mantis, Ravager, Boomer, Rocket, and Stitcher if you level up Gamora to like gear 14. And you probably don't even need to worry about what the other characters are doing. But for your other options, Ravager Bruiser's in campaign. He's also in the War Store, but I did not throw him on there. You should not get him from there. Yondu's in campaign, Groot's in campaign. Then you have Drax in the Arena Store. Then, like I said, those 3 in Blitz and those 2 in Raid Store. You can stumble onto Starlord just by opening orbs, which you will get naturally for the Raid Store and Blitz Store as well. But I mean, there is word of a Ravager's rework, so you may want to invest in them or farm them for whatever they're going to be used in. It's probably going to be a War team. And again, if you like War, then level them up whatever way you want to. But yeah, those are your options. So there's the quickest route, and then there's the best route. And probably your best route is going to be sticking with the Guardians and leaving Ravagers behind. So you want to go Groot, Drax, Mantis, Gamora, and Rocket. But honestly, if you get Gamora to like tier 12.5, and when I say 12.5, I mean all the purple pieces on her, you can get through the Starlord event pretty easily. All right, and on to our last one, and that is Iron Man. Next up, we have Iron Man, and you can accidentally stumble upon Iron Man 2, which is what I would definitely recommend for people just because he's really not that awesome. But for Iron Man, obviously you have a ton of campaign characters, as you can see up here with Captain America, Shield Operative. Shield Operative is also in the War Store. If by the time you're watching this and they're not in the War Store, or if this is like brand new and they're not in the War Store, just let me know and I'll pin that comment. Black Widow, Shield Assault, Shield Medic, Quake, Shield Trooper, and Hawkeye are all in the campaign. Then you have Quake in the Arena Store along with Shield Security. Then you have Shield Trooper and Yo-Yo in the Raid Store. Nick Fury is a legendary event. Agent Coulson is in the Blitz Store, and then Maria Hill also has that shield tag. So how you can accidentally stumble upon Iron Man: you have Maria Hill, you have Nick Fury, Yo-Yo to help you unlock Ebony Maw, Quake to help you unlock Ebony Maw, and then just opening orbs in the Raid Store and the Blitz Store and getting Coulson or getting Shield Trooper, which I mean, I do like that those are options, and I wish that those were more accessible for like Nick Fury, for example, or other characters as well. But yeah, that does it for the Legendary Farming Guide. Let me know if I had any mistakes in here. I'm pretty confident in how it went. I have a giant spreadsheet that has it all laid out, which helps me get this organized. I hope you guys were able to take screenshots along the ways. Let me know if I made any mistakes, any sort of sense, or if you want to see if you have any ideas to help me improve these types of videos, I would love to hear it. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. On this channel, I do guides, I do orb openings, and I do streams, and I do all sorts of Marvel Strike Force stuff. So make sure you're subscribed, hit that like button, join the Discord, follow me on Twitch, and I hope you have a great day. Bye, guys.